So, picture this. One day, I was sitting at my daughter's friend grandparents' house. They were playing outside, and me and her friend's mom were just sitting on the bench, just having a time talking to each other, getting to know each other, a bit better and stuff like that for the sake of the girls. And, while I'm there, I'm also working as well. And I realized that, she her friend's mom, let's call her Kelly for the sake of the video. So her friend's mom was like, oh my goodness, like you're such a boss, like okay, I'm really impressed with you and stuff like that. And I was like, really? She was like, yes. She was like complimenting like my professionalism and stuff like that and how I was handling things. She was like, you seem like you're like very smart and you handle your clients well and look at you. It's like you're just about your business. And to me, I'm like, I'm flattered, but then in my mind, I'm like, it starts like clicking for me. And so I, in that moment, it's like I started thinking about all the times and ways that I had been told the same thing, whether it's by people that I'm super cool with or not, you know, whether complimenting my intelligence, how I handle things, me going about stuff, being about the business, whatever may have you, the whole nine, right? And so I'm sitting here like reflecting and then even going back before I even had a job, just on how I, approach certain things and thought about certain things and executed certain things. People, I started wondering like, you know, because how can I say this? I started seeing all the ways that I was actually awesome. And I never really looked at myself in that way because it always be certain people that I probably held in a bit of a higher regard than I actually really should have, that I let hold space in my emotional world to make me feel validated. And so if I didn't get it from these people or certain types of people or whatever, I didn't feel that way. And for the longest, probably inside my ego, I was thinking to myself like, no, I don't care what people think. Like, I'm only thinking about care about what I think. And for the most part, especially I guess more so surface level, I did truly feel that way. Like I couldn't give two shits. But also, from being honest with myself, deep, deep within that root, apparently there's certain things or certain people that I might actually want to be able to appease or to get that validation from, which made me feel like whatever I was doing was not as valuable as I probably would have liked to perceived it as. So at this point, I started thinking about all the times that I had held myself back. And then as I'm reflecting on all the times that I held myself back, I started realizing how many doors got closed on me because of it. Probably could have been so much further along had I actually had a lot more confidence in myself. And you know, it it's like maybe it's because I also was hoping that everyone would be impressed or supportive with, you know, of these things from me, but apparently, it was the opposite. And so as it sat with me, I had to see that I was really playing myself like the whole time. I intentionally, like, I knew it was subconscious, but to a way it was actually conscious because I knew I was forcing myself to fall back into the shadows because I felt like, or at least I would tell myself, I feel more comfortable in the shadows. And I think I wanted to be in the shadows because then now you can't really critique me. You can't really tell me what I can and can't do because you don't know what I can and can't do because I didn't really try to do anything, you know? Which on the surface will make it fall flat. Once again, ego, very surface level. and as a means to try to protect my emotional world, but I'm also failing myself in my emotional world as well because it should have just been a F them, you know? And so in that moment, when it really started turning the gears in my head, I was like, it's time for me to make a conscious decision. I can either stay here and keep going through this perpetual cycle of going through things over and over and over and wondering why am I going through the same lesson. After that lesson ends for that version of it, then I'm sitting to myself, man, I knew I should have did this. I should have said this. Why I didn't advocate? Why didn't I speak up? This, that, and the third. Like I didn't even give myself a chance. How can I be mad that nobody else is giving me a chance if I'm not even giving me a chance? Make it make sense. Think, Mark, think. Like looking forward to March 18th, by the way. If you know, you know. So mm, so basically I just, like I said, I had to get comfortable. I had to be comfortable with that uncomfortability. Yeah. And also being comfortable with like even people in my immediate presence who I probably in my mind I probably assumed that's in my mind. I likely assumed that this party or certain parties would be the ones to advocate for me to be pushed further along, or to go further or to open up certain doors and things like that. When that may not be the case at all, as things seem to be playing out now. And so I'm like, in short, backing up, my thought ended up being also besides that decision. Like, what if I'm just overthinking and projecting how people are perceiving me or perceiving me in that area because I'm uncomfortable showing this side of me. So my lack of comfortability in my mind, now I'm projecting onto you that you don't find comfortable in the way that I am presenting myself because I don't feel comfortable in the way that I'm presenting myself, though it seems very honest and true. Maybe I just didn't feel comfortable being that exposed. And so, in being that exposed or being that expressive of my truth, I think that everybody else is uncomfortable in the expression of my truth. I think that's a better way to put it. So, rather than stemming from traumas, consciously or subconsciously, I don't really see the difference in the issue. So, for about the past 4 or 5 months, I've been putting this to practice. I'm just showing up, being myself. I notice in spaces that's not a safe space for me. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I'm about to continue on. Or also just showing up in other spaces too, just actually showcasing, like just sharing my thoughts and my input. Like, because I really am seeing that you're going to call when your energy is true, like energy not gonna lie. So it can't help but to find its match or to find its complement and weed out the ones that aren't it. And no, that does not mean that you have to toss yourself to the side per se, but in that same breath, you can probably still remain in that space, and then just the people that's in the space can be rotated out for the ones that are actually the right fit for you. So yeah. So I'm just you know, just having to really realize like none of that really matters. And I should just press forward because somebody gonna like it. There's a pot for every lid. Lid for every pot. I think the same thing. It don't really matter. But yeah. That's where I'm at. So I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I'm gonna catch y'all later, okay?